Sup, my name is Ryu for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, and it's time for coffee time. And I know we've been doing this on a Monday morning, but because of the new computer and because I was not able to film this weekend, that's why it's coming out 8 o'clock at night. So don't sweat, it's here, let's have some fun. Before we get straight into today's topic, which is what decks should get support throughout 2015 and 2016, we're going to quickly go over a channel update. And it's more than just this channel. When I say a channel update, it's usually regarding the entire whole council, division. Let's put it that way. I think that sounds pretty cool. So that covers the network, the Pokemon Council, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, the Gaming Council, and the Vanguard Council. The 5 channels that take priority right now. The Gaming Council should be launching soon. I don't know exactly when. I'll probably know a little more this week if we're delayed again or if not. So I'm not even going to tell you if we're delayed. What's going to happen is you can follow our Facebook. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Council one is the primary one that we use. It should have just been called the Council Network, but hey, Council Network's not up there yet. We'll get to the Council Network in a sec. But basically a week prior of the channel launching, I will announce it there and it will happen. Number 2, the Pokemon Council, September the 7th. It's coming back full time. It will at least get 1 video per week because this channel will always take priority because I love you guys. Number 2, 3, 4, whatever the fuck number we're on, the Council Network. That's coming back next Tuesday as well. I'm working on an Arrow video and a Flash video, basically leading up. It's like a pre-season 2 and season 4 video. We also have some WWE content going out there, so if you're a WWE fan, we're gonna basically like a giant podcast, post Raw, post NXT, post freaking pay-per-views. We're not doing SmackDown. SmackDown's boring to us. I'm sorry. It just is, because everything's taped on a Tuesday. But that's besides the point. So that's coming out to the Council Network. Besides that, the Council Network is getting a gaming podcast and some video game footage on the channel. So if you're into that kind of stuff, we have you on everything. Comic books, games, WWE wrestling, and just basically fandom out of the ass. So we have you on everything you could possibly want on the Council Network. If not, we'd be doing another channel, trust me. So, I think we went over the Gaming Council, so let's go straight over to the Vanguard Council. Mikey did film footage, I believe, last week, so it should be going up. If not, I'm going to talk to him and find out what's going on. So stay tuned, it's coming back. That covers everything that you need to know when it comes to the council stuff, and you can find all the updates in our description at our Facebook or my Twitter, which I have been very silent on because I started working on basically what has been titled the Council Record, which you can read on Facebook because that's at least 2.5 years off. So let's talk about what decks should get support throughout 2015 and 2016 from Konami, because Konami has been so fucking generous in giving Red Eyes and Goyo Guardian and all these other decks support, but it feels like some of these decks have just been left to the wayside. Now, that may not be an intentional thing, and some of you may disagree with what I have to say, but that's okay. Please sound off in the comments and put in the comments what decks you think should get support. I may be mentioning what you want to mention, but I'm not just going to go over it. I'm going to go in detail. We're going to start with Crystal Beast. I love these guys. They got, 1, 2 new cards, Pendulums, great. The problem is, compared to other things that have gotten support, it's not enough. Crystal Beasts have always suffered from the Crystal Beast Syndrome and eating up your back row and about 30 other things. Lack of speed is also a thing. Let's put it that way. So here's what I'm saying. If Crystal Beasts were to get 1 or 2 more cards, it'd be good, maybe in the structure deck. It's something that I could see happening because Red Eyes got all the support. Why not give the love to some other decks? Goyo Guardian is not even an archetype, but it's becoming an archetype, so why not, right? So my number 2 would be Gladiator Beast. I love these guys ever since their incarnations first came out. Geysera Spam, Prisma.deck, the Esadari that was a letdown. Look, they got new support, but it's not all that good. In like 2 sets ago. I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone goes, Glad Beasts are back, and they're never back because they have one fatal issue. And the fatal issue is they have to attack to be winning. If they cannot attack, they cannot win. Konami can easily fix this by giving a trap card or a spell, a continuous spell card, or hell, even a field card that would say, It's a Wabaku where basically you take no damage, you'll get your swap, or you don't even have to attack, you can just get your swap. I know some people will be like, fuck Glider Beast, man. They had their time in the sun. So did Lightsworn, and Lightsworn just got a shitload of new support. Constantly, like they got Raiden, they got the Minerva Exceed, they got Minerva itself, they got like 20 other things I can't even remember. Felice, there we go. See what I mean? And they also got Michael. So why not spread the love around? The next one's near and dear to many of you, and I know that much because I see it all the time, and it's near and dear to me. And it's basically what started a good chunk of the game for a lot of us, is Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, I know some of you are saying, but Ryu, Sapphire, works. Let's be satisfied with what we had. You guys have Maiden. Whatever the case is. Let me explain something to you. From a competitive aspect, we are lower as a pure deck. We are lower than Red Eyes. We're like tier 4. And I know that's hard to swallow for a lot of people, but it's the truth. Blue Eyes is not up there unless you build the Sapphire build, because it's faster, it's more consistent. And that's something that I blame Konami, because it's like, okay, you gave us good support when Blue Eyes was new, but here's the problem. When we get to Red Eyes, and you could say this is the power creeps, syndrome sinking in, when we get to Red Eyes gets all these different ways to bring out Red Eyes, and you look at Blue Eyes, we have 2 ways. You have Silver's Cry, and you have Maiden. Those are our main sources. And guess where Silver's Cry is being used in? Red Eyes. So it's kind of like, fuck. I mean, there's probably other ways like Birthright and whatnot, but still. The primary usage was supposed to be Maiden to get it out. Or Ajra. But Ajra has to be built towards. You can't just, magically summon it. It's your extra deck. So that's definitely something that Konami should give more support to make the deck a little more viable. Number 4, Morphotronics. Am I the only one who likes these little cell phone looking fucks or little robots? I really do like them. They had Cell Phone, which is one of the most interesting cards I've ever seen come out of this game. The fact that you had to take a chance on Lady Luck and roll to get Morphotronics on your board faster, and if you get lucky and you strategize in that luck, then you can lock down the board and you can make some great cards. The problem with Morphotronics is it's just basically the lack of support, the lack of good support. Not the lack of support in general, but the lack of good support. They haven't been seen in a while. I'm going to eventually do a deck profile on them because they need that light shined on them. But they could use the support really, really, really bad. Out of everything on here, this is one of those decks that could need, really does need the support more than anything else. Quickly moving on, my number 5 would be Dragoonity. I know what you're going to say, Dragoonity had the field card. Didn't you see Asian Eyes' new video? Let me explain something to you. Not everyone's going to play that build, and Dragon Ravine's at 2. If Dragon Ravine was at 3, okay, but still. Dragoonity could use 1 or 2 more things to help them get back into the competitive scene. They don't need to be tier 1 completely. I'm not talking about Dragon Rollers either, but they can use 1 or 2 more things to help them get out. Because let's be honest, everyone can admit to this. The one tuner that the deck has to use, and is the one primary weakness when you side against this deck, is Phlanix. If Phlanix is not there, the deck is pretty much screwed. And I mean that in a good way. Like, I'm not trying to... I'm phrasing wrong. What I'm trying to say is that's terrible in the sense that if it gets fucked over, you're completely screwed. If it gets banished out, Karma Cut, Phoenix Wind Blast, whatever, and they slow you down, you're just Rage Stomp right there. Unlike something like Syncs, Synchrons, that have all these different ways to bring out, what they want to bring out. Dragoonies primarily want to use Phlanix. If they had another tuner that was like Phlanix, they'd be that much better, hence what I'm talking about support. My number 6 pick, I think we're at number 6, is Tunes. And I know some of you are probably going, what the fuck? They just got support. Here's the thing though. They die to MST when you MST the Toon Kingdom. And yeah, there's ways of protecting it, but it takes time. If you play Toon Kingdom and I chain MST, it's a wrap. You can't get your stuff off. They're extremely slow. I'm not asking for the deck to be tier 0. I'm asking for the deck to be a little bit more viable in the sense that it's not going to die off so easily. It's such a cool archetype that I want to see succeed to some kind of degree, but to see it in that sense just doesn't make sense. You know, I think most of you understand what I'm saying here. Toons as a whole just died MST and back row hate, and that's what it just needs fixing just a little bit. If there was some like themed way of searching it out, or another search power card to speed them up just a little bit, I know they're gonna say power duality, but still, to a point, you know, it does help. My number 7 is zombies. I know they constantly get support, but the problem is they're just slow. A lot of these decks on here are just slow. Crystal Beasts, Gladiator Beasts, Toons, I kind of want to say Morphotronics, and zombies are just slow. There's plenty of ways to build zombies. There's plenty of ways to make them viable. End of the day, pure zombies just are not 100% viable in the sense of trying to make them work. They're more of a fun deck, probably lower than Toons, and that's what sucks. I want to see some good zombie support. And I know I'm not asking for Bryonak and Burial from Different Dimension of return so we can abuse the shit out of it. And yeah, I know, you know, deck drops BLs, but let's be honest. How easy is it to get over BLs now? Breakthrough Skill, Raigeki, Together, 2-card combo, 101 Castell. We could be here all day and I could just go over 1,000 different ways, but it's pretty easy. What if your deck is a rank 4 zombies? Again, there's other rank 4s that do it 10 times better, so that's what it just doesn't click. If Konami would give zombies more support, I'd be jumping up and down for joy. There's so many zombies that are untouched potential, and I'm looking at that red-eyed zombie when I'm talking about this, that have that untouched potential that Konami could go back to and say, we're going to focus on this little bit of zombies, or we're going to focus on that little bit of zombies. And that's something that they could utilize. And I know many of you will probably say, but the packs have to sell. The packs will sell regardless. And it, you know, diversity is not a bad thing in packs. It will help sell. As long as it's not Cyber Dark Impact, it will sell. Alright, moving on. I believe we're at number 8 is Destiny Heroes. Fans of Destiny Heroes have clamored for so long for new support. And what happens? Heroes get support, and you're supposed to use that. I don't think that's completely fair. I think Shadow Mist is the closest thing to Destiny Hero support in a long time. And I would probably say Dark Law, but again, you know, Destiny Heroes by themselves, the greatest play you have is to bring out Dark Law, or to bring out level 8 Synchro, or sometimes rank 4, or just get random draw power. The problem is here is that you have all these great monsters, and yes, I'm calling like Dreadmaster and shit great, and Dogma, especially Dogma, that you have to give up so many resources to bring out. It's like, come on, Konami, please give us some Destiny Hero support. Give the Astro Phoenix some love. Give it some shit that it doesn't have right now. Shadow Mist is their searcher. That's fine. But when it comes down to it, they need more power. Maybe a fusion in the sense of First of the Dragons, where basically use 2 of Destiny Heroes, any Destiny Heroes, and maybe some spell card that allows you to fuse and get a search. DDDs have that. Why not give it to Destiny Heroes and see what they can do? That way Dogma becomes more viable. I mean, Dogma is a scary son of a bitch, but still, outside of being used for Teledad and the occasional Destiny Hero zombies, when do you really see Destiny Heroes as their own standalone deck? You know what I mean? Alright, I think we're at number 9. At this point, it's irrelevant because there's like 20 in total. Scraps. Konami gave them support about a year or 2 ago, and they did pretty well with it for a little while. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of price hikes, and it was exciting to see Scraps get, you know, all that attention. But what have they done? What have they done since? They got pooped on. They got overlooked. And there's probably 1 or 2 people like watching this video eventually, if not now, going, but I play Scraps and they're still viable. I understand that, but the majority of Yu-Gi-Oh players don't play them. And it's sad because they're so good. There's so many ways to build a deck. and then it just comes down to it where basically Konami doesn't want to give the deck support. Fuck you, Konami. Alright, moving on. Fire Kings. I know they got islands. I know it speeds them up, but they need another monster that is usable. Not a half-assed one like that little level 3 horse-looking thing. I can't remember its name. But they need one that's viable, that's going to help them. They have a Searcher, they have a Self-Destructor, and they have a Giant Bird. They have Bearer to use to pop your monsters. Hey, Ryu, what could they use? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a monster that basically destroys back row when it's destroyed. No, that's too smart for Konami. Or how about one that gives you a card to your hand? Or one that and when I say a card to your hand, I'm talking about draw power. How about one that gives you draw power? Or how about one that pulls one out of the graveyard, allowing you to recycle? The Yakushas or the Barongs. I was having a brain fart on their names. Moving on, we have Insectors. Hornet is still at 1. Dragonfly can rot at 1. I'm sorry. That is the thing that causes issues. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to piss some people off. But if we got more Hornet and maybe some kind of more balanced version of Dragonfly where it's a once per turn effect, you know what I mean? I don't even think there would be an issue right now anymore. They were always good, but it's kind of that Inferni syndrome. You gotta be careful what you give them. And talking about Infernities, they're the next one I'm going to mention. Infernities. Definitely something that could use some more support. There's a lot of anime ones that have never came out, and it's something Konami could easily touch upon and give the player base something for. And we lost Lava Lol Chain, we lost Barrier, we lost Archfiend, and we're still fucking kicking as a deck, and the deck's still fucking viable. I mean, shit. Alright, moving on. This is the big one. Agents. Very viable deck for a long time. I believe it won Worlds, or came close to it. I think Insectors won that Worlds. I don't fully remember. And they have almost everything going for them, except speed. There's plenty of planets that Konami has not given them. There's plenty of ways to give them support that's balanced. They are fucking fairies. Konami, this is not hard at all. You can easily, basically, just up them up by giving them 3 Honest. And I know every light deck would get it, but, like, their own Honest? I mean, come on. Pujins have it? Alright, Yubel. That's the next one. Yubel. I love the Yubel archetype. It has, like, 3 freaking cards and a lot of creativity when it comes to builds. But it can use some love. Konami can easily go, I don't know, this monster can be special from your deck when Yubel's on the field, or from your graveyard when Yubel's on the field, and it can blow up Yubel so you can get to second Yubel and you could bring it, and then your opponent has to, you know, and then have another one that basically forces your opponent to attack into Yubel so they take the damage, so the deck actually becomes viable completely. You know what was a great archetype that never took off because of lack of good support? Hazy Flynn. It's one that occasionally I'll see pop up on YouTube. Every now and then, everyone will do a deck profile on it. And you can mix it with Heretics, Heretics, I'm calling it Heretics. You can mix it with Heretics, and you can get some nice effects with it, or Monarchs, like some degree, a little creativity there. The problem is that the deck's slow, the deck's inconsistent, and the deck doesn't have enough, like, ways of its own Treeborn Frog. Hell, even Steel Swarms have a better way of bringing out their monsters than Hazy Flame, and I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but it's the truth. Konami needs to give both of those decks a little more support. Wink wink to Steel Swarms. Raccoon. This is one that I feel is just either falling out of place or could use one new good card. And yeah, I know they just got one, but still, it's one of those things that I personally feel they can use that one new card to spike a little bit more interest in them. Like, probably what I'm getting at most likely is going to be an Exceed. They can use a new Exceed, a rank 2 that is not Tan but works in conjunction with Tan. Wait, is it Tan? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Works with number 94 Sandayu. Works with Sandayu, and basically, I don't know, powers up Sandayu, so that way you can get more stuff I don't know, I'm being creative here, but raccoons could use the extra support and the extra love, so Konami, give them some love. Alright, for dragons, I'm going to say dragons in general, Chaos Dragons and Heretics could both use some new support. I'm okay with my Chaos Dragons where they are, let me just say that much. I'm completely okay with it. 100% completely okay. I always like the idea of new support, and the way I'm getting at this is mainly for usage of Dark Flare. There needs to be some kind of balanced, I don't want to say dark arm, but some kind of light and dark dragons that you could search out with Eclipse Wyvern that would make Dark Flare that much more usable than it is. I don't feel he's that good right now, and I feel Konami can touch upon that because everyone knows how good Light Pulsar is, but when you get to Dark Flare, it's like, meh. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. You don't really see him in Chaos Dragons unless it's dedicated to using him in some kind of sense. Heretics, do I really need to go completely into it? They need that, like, just draw power that goes Tribute 1, get 2. Tribute 1, get 2 once per turn. Always once per turn, and only once per turn on each one of the cards. That would help them out. Just a little bit. So that way, because they go through a lot of cards really quickly. That or some kind of Pot of Avarice kind of thing where you could put back 5 Heretics and go from there, really late game kind of thing. Gustos, these came out yesterday. There's deck profile to it, and it'll be in the end of the video. There'll be a little box that has the link for your pleasure. God, there's going to be jokes about that. But you can go check out the Gusto deck profile at the end of the video, and it comes from Miss Valley Master. They're definitely one that I feel have gone either under the radar or just underloved, and they could definitely use some new attention. Yeah, they got Parika. They could still use some new stuff. Come on, Ritual Beast came out. They're the incarnation of Gustos, and they just ran and took off. And Gustos were like left in the corner crying. While we're on dual terminal archetypes, let's talk about X-Sabers and Jirax. You best you didn't hear. I bet you didn't hear me thinking that. I bet you didn't think I'd be saying Jirax. But X-Sabers haven't gotten support in a long time. They are a pretty solid deck. Just like Chaos Dragons, they can do a lot. Hell, they can make Naturia beasts. God damn it, they're fun to play. Jirax, cool little archetype, little cute dinosaurs, little rainbow colors. Guess where one of them went? Dino Rabbit. They've never really been a standalone deck ever since Hidden Arsenal 2, 1? Somewhere around there? Hello? Somewhere around there? I don't remember exactly where. But Jirax was definitely something that I would love to see come back, because they would just be a fresh, you know, like a fresh breath of air into the lungs of what this game is. Instead of getting the same old, we get something completely different. And Logia and Dulka become usable again? Not that they're not usable, but it would just become fun. I mean, come on, can you imagine a Pendulum Jirax? That'd be so much fun. Oh, take a search every turn. Doop! Take a draw every turn. Doop! That's all they really need. Just a little more speed. And then they could just use Burn of the Mighty. Drop your power down and ram you. I can't be the only one who wants Jirax support. I think it's one of the coolest decks we have that has not been given enough support. Alright. Rounding off the rest of this video. Hunder family. Yu-Gi 514 got me hooked on this shit. I've never really been a giant fan of Hunders, to be honest. But they're cool. They work on normal summons. And if you disrupt that normal summon, it hurts. They're rank 4 toolbox. They're Thunder! Thunder! Freaking Thunder! They're like the main Thunder archetype besides Battery Man. They're out there that can do things. And most people say, they got Honest at 2. What else do they need? Some draw power. Some speed. Some more consistency. They already have tons, but why not, right? A way to get Seahorse back. Oh wait, no, they have that. Never mind. In all honesty, what they could use is a themed Exceed. Just like Madolce, themed Exceed proves to be good. Moving on. Gemini. Remember that Gemini structure deck that came out a while back? Never took off? I honestly thought it was something fresh and something that should be revisited. It's something that hasn't got enough love. Gemini Spark. Hello, Gemini Spark. First Fist of the Dragons. You could use that. It works because they count as normals. They could use a new Exceed. They could use a Pendulum. There's plenty of ways of getting them good support without completely breaking them. You guys will love me for this one. Incas. 5Ds. If you've ever watched 5Ds, you've seen the moon and the sun. Praise the sun. Let's give them some support. Let's make those dragons come out easier without giving up so much. Let's get some draw power, some search power in there. Let's speed up the deck. Let's make a 2015 edition, and let's make it new again. Let's make it fun to use those. Because honestly, those are really interesting in concept, but they don't play that well, and that's the issue I see with them. Second to last, vampires. Kind of just looked at, frowned upon. Why not just play monarchs? They really, really do need some love. Just some good fucking love to make the deck shine again. And rounding off this video will be Evos. Little cute dinosaurs again that basically are a little bit too slow. Give them a Pendulum that gets their flip effects and watch them work their asses off and become a viable deck once again. I'm not saying the deck's bad. It can do some good shit. It's one of the best underrated decks. But just not fast enough. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Hey guys, don't forget before you leave the video to check out the videos in the annotations and the little black boxes that are in front of you. And check back tomorrow for Tech Tuesday finally returning. If there's a deck that you guys want to see, you can just put it down in the comments below, and anything that I mentioned throughout the video is in the description. And I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryu. Bye.